Military doctors have been trying out a new and unusual way to help our troops suffering from physical and psychological traumas of war. They're getting wounded warriors involved in art therapy.
Joyce Evans looks at the emotional journey from the art of war to the art of healing and the local researchers who may decide the program's future.
Let's look at the expressive writing notes.
They look like art critics, but they're not judging the artistic skill of these unique masks.
We are coding for visual elements.
Giraja Kaimel is an art therapist at Drexel University.
Go back. Yep. Let's see.
She and research coordinator Adele Gonzaga
Future of writing.
have been assigned a special government mission.
Engaged. So it's about the experience.
To carefully analyze and categorize
If you scroll down,
the hundreds and hundreds of torn and tortured souls
passion for battle, destructive,
behind these masks.
struggling with issues of death and injury.
Active duty military service members who suffer traumatic brain injuries, physical trauma, and/or deep-seated psychological horrors of war.
I couldn't sleep at night because the images are so graphic and so intense.
So real. This is where the unusual treatment is taking place.
We focused on people that are active duty and have a good chance of returning to duty with the right kind of care.
You might think the ultra-secure Walter Reed National Military Medical Center is all high-tech, all starched and pressed.
But that only gets us so far.
Dr. Louis French of the National Intrepid Center of Excellence says art therapy is a bit unconventional, but his first duty is to relieve suffering.
We shouldn't ignore a potential treatment option just because it's not a traditional kind of thing.
They pour those invisible wounds, unspeakable experiences, into these creations that line the tables, walls, and halls at the Walter Reed NICO Center. When I look at these, they're both beautiful and disturbing at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. On the outside, he doesn't look injured, right? But on the inside, he's grappling with quite a bit.
Melissa Walker is the woman behind the Walter Reed program.
He said he also wants to show how they're taught to blend in society.
She brought in the National Endowment for the Arts Military Healing Program.
It's the first time that the National Endowment for the Arts has partnered with the Department of Defense specifically to address a unique and very big health issue that they're confronting.
There's an actual shutdown in the brain that causes them to have difficulty recounting what occurred. And the art making accesses the same parts of the brain that encode sensory trauma.
I don't have like a strap for it, but...
Apparently, the breakthrough treatment for the Marine behind this mask.
This is what I came up with.
32-year-old Staff Sergeant Anthony Menino.
I wish I had a strap.
Former machine gunner, 13 years active, injured twice, stemming from 2 different blasts in Iraq and Afghanistan.
It's got a lot of issues open on the table about all the loss. Unfortunately, I've had to deal with a lot of loss over the last few years.
His mask relates to the journey of a character in one of his many video games.
I was very standoffish, didn't want to discuss any of my issues, didn't want to really go past the surface.
Or share with his fiancée, Diane.
Scary, anger.
Is how Diane says her Tony came back to her.
He had hatred. There was nothing good. He was drowning in his own thoughts, and I couldn't save him. He couldn't save himself.
And you find ways to rationalize things and justify things that are just completely crazy.
So we had to force him to get treatment, and thank God he went.
But this tough Marine sergeant was slow to take any of this art stuff seriously.
Kind of frustrating at first. After the war, you start a different war back at home. It's tough to leave the conflict behind because there's so much that's pent up inside that never comes out. I can't change what's already happened.
It all comes out here.
Yeah, it's a battle.
Beautifully, with the help of therapist Jessica Gatta.
The transformation since November of this past year has been amazing to witness. You can see it in his artwork, you can see it in his face. I've just noticed a real sense of peace.
Anthony actually finished his 4-week program months ago, but he keeps coming back, exploring and healing more.
You know, it's a new mission. I have something I can keep my focus on that is not going to keep me depressed or in a funk, but understanding some of the triggers that get me to that point. That way it's not, from 0 to 100 right away.
The therapists say they're not just saving soldiers, they're saving families, one mask at a time.
I get emotional. He's just an amazing guy. I've seen them really do a lot of healing together and in the art therapy space.
You're proud of him?
I'm incredibly proud of him. My heart could explode with joy with how far he's come. And this is just the beginning.
Marine Staff Sergeant Menino is now interning at NASA. The NEA's military arts program just got big new funding from Congress, and they're now talking about offering the program around the country. But NICO officials at Walter Reed, they're waiting. They want to learn more from our Drexel University researchers on exactly why and how creating something out of a blank cardboard mask is healing hundreds of our heroes. Joyce Evans, Fox 29 News.